Welcome everyone to another episode of Nonsense. Today today is the 10th of February 2026, Tuesday, 9:13 a.m. IST. I would like to begin by saying that before the whole universe came into existence, only the source of what's going to exist remains, and will remain. Before the source of anything, before anything came about into their existence, there has to be only the source of everything, anything. This planet Earth is nothing compared to the universe. And to bring about the existence of this universe, the source has to be there. That's what I mean. And our limited human understanding, our potential, the language is never enough to talk about the nature of the source, because it is formless, nameless, timeless, spaceless, birthless, deathless. And the source, being the source of all, has to be eternal, everlasting, unchanging. The source of everything, being the source of everything, the source has to be omnipresent. Present from the atom to the entire universe. Whether the humans exist or not, this universe will definitely, certainly, possibly exist. Even this little blue planet Earth, billion times older than us, than our limited species. And even after our disappearance, this planet may outlive for another countless number of time. So whether we live or not doesn't matter. Even the nature can go on. In the meantime, how are we living? How are we existing? What are we talking about? Whether we talk or not, whether we believe anything or not, whether we think, whether we philosophize, whether we contemplate or not, the source will remain unexplored. But the great advantage of being a human, different from the other living beings, is to have this little gift of reasoning, asking, understanding, and experiencing something which is beyond our own very being. The rationality being the only specific or unique gift to humankind. And most of us, what do we talk about? Mostly it is nonsense, based on blind faith, beliefs, all because of ignorance. Like I said, everything has one single source. Therefore, the source has to remain in everything. This source, capable of manifesting or expressing itself into various forms, the source present in every atom, I hope that is understood, because nothing can exist without the source. Therefore, the source has to be present in every atom. The very structure of the atom being a mystery to us. The nuclear, the proton, neutron. So the source appears in multi-dimensional, multifaceted forms, including humans, and every form having a common characteristic. Three common characteristics: ever-changing, coming to an end, and proving that it is unreal compared to the source. The source appears as a form, evolves or changes, comes to an end, and ultimately it goes back to the source. Even if whatever disappears do not go back to the source, one thing is undeniably true, that is, the source remains. So what happens to those who die? The body dies, the mind stops, the heart stops, the body becomes part of the earth. And a so-called soul that we talk about, what is it? The soul, also being formless, nameless, timeless, it has to be the source, ultimately. But the persons, the personal individualities, the beliefs, the thoughts, the mind, memories, they are also a form of energy. Energy is a vibration. Can it be identified with a source? No. Even if they are formless to the eyes, invisible to the eyes, the energy is also part of an object. It is an object. It is perceivable even to our limited mind. What am I trying to say? Where am I trying to arrive at? It's just to say that the source is ever present. It is possible for the humans to abide in the source. It is possible for the humans to put our attention and focus in the source. To see what it is, instead of putting the focus in the objects, in the beliefs, in the thoughts, in the memories, in the future. Where your mind is, there your behavior will follow. And when we put our attention in our mind, that's what our life's events will follow. By the way, the topic is nonsense. Therefore, I'll keep ranting on and on. On the nonsense. It is the source which is managing the entire universe. Not to mention the little tiny palpitations of the heart in every human. The inhalation and exhalation, the breath that takes place every second in every human, the digestion, the sleep, the waking, the dreaming, experienced inevitably by every human. All under the direction of the source, inescapable. So the root of our existence, our very being, rely on the source. While paradoxically humans believe in something called God without knowing that it is this very source I'm talking about. They have got their own limited definition of their own respective gods. Now, who is talking all these nonsense? Is it the source? Yes, it is the source expressing itself as this little limited specific individual. Likewise, it expresses itself as all the other billions of humans in their own ways. Each one expressing within their respective levels of understanding and experience. And the result of which leads to peace for some, happiness, joy, love for some, and war, killing, misunderstanding, oppositions, enmity for others. It's for each one to venture and find out. One thing is for sure, this video will come to an end. All of us will come to an end. Our future generations will come to an end. But the source will remain. In the meantime, while we have our chance right now, for a maximum of 80 to 90 years, and for some of us even as young people, because anyone can disappear as a child, as a teenager, as an adult, as an old age. but nobody can live more than 200 years as of now. It's not the number of years that we live, but the quality of time that we spend in attaining, in obtaining, in experiencing the highest experience possible for the human race. The greatest achievement achievable by all humans, above all other achievements, the greatest achievement and the only achievement that we are meant to achieve is to understand to some extent and to experience the source by each one, which need not be understood by others, which need not be shared to others, which need not be acknowledged by others, and which can never be explained by our limited human language and mind. That's why the greatest language of all is silence. Because before anything came to existence, there should have been, there should be, there must be, there has to be, and there was only, and there is only silence. Before the noise came, silence has to be there first, not the otherwise. This particular place is called Kaipi Rangbang, which means the upper gate of the village. This is Dulan 1, and this very particular spot where I am sitting right now used to be called a haunted place in the olden days. Even during our childhood in the 1980s, we used to be scared of coming down to this place in the night. There are so many stories of paranormal activities in this area, and which was also proven by people, even including this very tree there, the slanting tree. There's a deep valley on my right side, a gorge, and even on the left, the road leading to Tamenglong, and the road this side on the right leading to the Baptist colony. And right up, if you go up to the stone slabs, flight of stairs, we reach the old Dulan village, Dulan 1. And I grew up with all those fears in the mind, and the memory still exists even till now. And through experience, through different stages of experience in life, I feel so blessed to understand today that only the source remains. The hauntings seem to have stopped. And what are those hauntings? Vibrations. Vibrations of the energies left behind by those who have not understood and experienced the source. So they become restless energies, looking for ways and means to express themselves, but unable to communicate in the broad daylight because they have lost their forms. These are the cemeteries where the bodies of our ancestors, dear ones, loved ones, are buried, and they have become part of the topsoil. And there's my cousin sister coming up. Benta ka na. Oh. Eish. Ai tumelong ta kang gari khon mam dung cha. Hey kusulong kasie mam de sa pa na dong mam de. Pau ka ni ho. Sai ra mang ni. Oh tak eh. That's another form as my cousin sister Mary Din Liu Pa Mai from my mom's family, mom's clan. She's another form, the source expressing as her form with the same advantage, same privilege to experience the source. It is the source experiencing itself in a way, and the highest experience a human being can experience is to realize within the human being by the source that it is the source and not as an egoistic individual. Whereas the majority of the humans believe so strongly that they are individuals with their respective souls and beliefs, destined to reach a sort of heaven someday after their death, and that this earthly life is only a temporary journey towards that heavenly goal, which is so boring, so strenuous. If our life is only a journey and not to experience the source in this very existence, what's the point of being a human? That's the conclusion I have at least arrived at by today. One goat being left out by the herd, it's crying for her friends. That is also the source expressing itself as a goat, but with limited potential compared to the human being, and yet in their own respective embodiment, existence, it is special, unique, mysteriously divine, which we fail to comprehend. So how many have watched up to this much with understanding? Congratulations. And you are most welcome to open a dialogue with me anytime, any place, anyhow, if this body mind is available. You may ask yourself whether it is better to go about with your life as per your plan and expectations and dreams and imaginations, or following the advice of other people, or also to invest a little bit of your time to explore the reality of yourself, to come to a complete satisfaction with understanding and experience of the truth available every time, everywhere. Whether doing what you want is better or to go with the flow of the universe. Human plans are appreciable, inventions fantastic, and yet if we don't have the satisfaction, contentment, realization of what exactly we are, even if we reach the moon and the Mars and the Jupiter and the Pluto, if the heart is restless, it's like winning the whole world and yet losing yourself. I'm sure you're able to hear the sounds of the birds, like it's told somewhere. They don't worry for what will follow tomorrow, because the source provides for all, more than enough. The concluding line might be, let's abide in the source and see what happens. After all, today is yesterday's tomorrow, and tomorrow is day after tomorrow's yesterday. In fact, what we are experiencing is only now. We have only today, every day. By tomorrow, we will say today. And we can live only today. Yesterday is gone. Yesterday we lived, but it is gone. Now we are living today. So, though we lived yesterday, we can't live yesterday again. Tomorrow is yet to come. We never know. But we can live today. And the best way to live today is to abide in the source of today. Thank you, everyone. Peace on earth, love and light to every heart. Thank you.